it is definitely possible to manifest a specific person. How she manifested her specific person and got married to him? By using Neville Goddard's teaching. Let's find out. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rafat. I am certified life and success coach, and today I'm going to share story of a lady who manifested her specific person. Not only she manifested, she got married to him, and which techniques he used, what she did, which teachings of Neville Goddard she used. This story is from the book The Law and the Promise. Basically, this lady was attending Neville Goddard's lectures and she put his teaching into practice, and that's where magic happens when we do it properly. So she is writing basically to Neville Goddard. Last August, while on a blind date, I met a man I wanted to marry, and this happened sometime. Yes, sometimes you meet someone and you feel like, oh, this is the one, and that's a type of a man I want to marry. So that's what happened to her. And he was everything I had ever thought of a desirable in a husband. So 2 days after this enchanted evening, it was necessary for me to change my place of residence because of my work, and the same week, mutual friend who had introduced me to this man moved away from the city. And then she realized that the man she met, she do not know her new address, and even though he didn't know about her name. So circumstances does not matter, but she did not give up. She continued imagining. So what happened after your last lecture? She basically writing to Neville Goddard. After your last lecture, I spoke to you about the situation. Although I had plenty of other dates, I could not forget about the man. And your lecture was based on revising our days. And after speaking to you, I determined to revise my day. Every day before going to sleep, that night I felt that I was in a different bed. That's why she was revising every day before going to bed. She was revising that she is in a different bed. She is in my own home, but she was in her own home, but she was feeling and imagining that she is not in her own bed. And as a married woman, she was imagining herself as a married woman and not as a single working lady sharing an apartment with 3 other girls. I twisted an imaginary wedding band on my imaginary left hand and saying over and over to myself, this is wonderful. I really am Mrs. J.E. J.E. possibly are the initials of her man. And I fell asleep in what was the moment before waking a dream. So she kept imagining and sleep and waking up in the same situation. So I repeated the imaginary scene for a month. She did, and night after night. The first week of October, she kept doing the imaginary scene for a month, and then in October he found her. She didn't mention how he found her. However, she mentioned that he found her. On our second date, I knew my dream was rightly placed. So that's what happened when you're imagining, and when you are imagining correctly and doing everything properly, then you feel satisfied. So that's why she's saying that her dream was rightly placed. And your teaching tell us live in the end of our desire until that desire become fact. So although I did not know how he felt toward me, I continued night after night living in the feeling of my dream realized. She kept imagining that her dream has fulfilled. She was living from the end, and she kept imagining, even though after the second date, she do not know how he is feeling about her, but she felt deep down in her heart that he feeling same for her as well. So as a result, in November he proposed. Woohoo! And in January we announced our engagement, and following May we was married. Woohoo! I love reading success stories and creating success stories, and that's what I am so passionate about, helping my clients to create their success stories. So let's continue with our story. The loveliest part of it all, however, is that I am happier than I ever dreamt possibly, and I know in my heart he is too. Mrs. J.E. Wow, that's exciting, isn't it? So by using her imagination radically instead of conservatively, she kept using her imagination, and by building her world out of pure dream of fancy, rather than using images supplied by memory, and she brought about the fulfillment of her dream. Common sense would have used images supplied by her memory, and thereby perpetuated the fact of lack in her life. She basically did not go to the route where normally we human being, we start doubting, is it happening or not, is going to happen or not, and how is going to happen. She kept going. She did not let interrupt her reality mind into the situation. She kept imagining and kept following Neville Goddard's teaching. So imagination created what she desired out of a dream of fancy, and everyone must live wholly on the level of imagination, and it must be consciously and deliberately undertaken. So that was the story, and that's clearly concluded that you can manifest your desired person. And that is the biggest proof how she did it. And in a near future I will make some videos, so I will share how I manifested my specific person and how you can manifest your specific person by using Neville Goddard's teaching. So up to then, have a good time, and love you so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.